My name is Matt Balducci, the CEO and host of the Slight Edge Network, and what we're going to cover today is why you will never be fully successful in anything you do without failure. You cannot win, you cannot be a champion, you cannot succeed at the highest level unless you fail. And the reason for that is that without failure, that means you're not pushing yourself hard enough. That means you're not trying new things. That means you have not put yourself in a position where you're going to get out of your comfort zone. And so the reason I love this so much is right now I'm pursuing a goal of mine, which is to become a bodybuilder, a fitness model physique, whatever you want to look at. I kind of call it the superhero's physique, which would be really, really cool. But ultimately, the reason I love bodybuilding so much is it actually completely has that in it. You need to go to the gym, and what you're doing is you're lifting weights. And the only way your body or your muscle grows is if you completely tear your muscles. Now, obviously, when you hear the word tear, you think, whoa, 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 that's scary. No, you're literally tearing the muscle fibers, and what they're gonna do is your human form, your human body is gonna actually grow them back because they're compensating knowing that you might have to lift that weight again. And that's the only way in bodybuilding to actually improve and get better is you have to go in and you have to lift till failure. Really, you don't get any benefits of weightlifting until you get to the last couple reps where you're literally pushing through those extra couple reps. And that's the main reason I love bodybuilding. And what I found is that the people who succeed at the highest level are the ones that are not afraid of failure. They're the ones that have zero fear when it comes to going out there and achieving what they need to achieve. They're okay making mistakes and they're okay failing. Ultimately, what you don't see behind the scenes when it comes to all those successes where, I was great academically, I was a good athlete, and, obviously I quote unquote am successful. What you don't see is all the failures and all the times that I pushed myself. And this is where I think that you guys out there need to understand that it's okay to mess up and you have a long life. I'm only 30 years old, and when I say only, that's awesome because I literally have probably another 60 plus years on my life. And the crazy part is I'm still excited to make mistakes. Right now on this YouTube channel, I'm excited to see in a year from today where we're at. And again, hopefully we have some great subscribers, and I hope you guys subscribe below and get some value from this. But ultimately what it's gonna come back to is, me taking the risk and making mistakes and failing and going out there and not getting a lot of subscribers and learning from that and then getting more and more and more. And then hopefully in 5 years from now, I have hundreds of thousands of people that are learning from me. I get to go speak on stages across the world, and that would be great. But what you don't see behind the scenes is in sports, when I got to college, I actually walked onto the baseball team, but unfortunately, I actually had tendonitis in my arm, and I got cut right away within 2 weeks of making the team because they had a new coach come in, and I was a preferred walk-on. But after the new coach came in, he cut me within 2 weeks. So I do tell people that I played college baseball, but realistically I made the team, but then I got cut because of an injury. And ultimately at the end of the day, that was a failure, right? Because now I no longer was playing college baseball, and that was my dream at the time to go play pro baseball, and now that was completely shut down. So now the next thing I went into is I started a business, like I said, my freshman year, and it was great. By the end of it, I ran a $80,000 company. I made about $25,000 while in college. But what you don't hear and you don't see is that the first 3 months of that, I booked 0 clients, and I was literally putting in hours and hours and hours with no result, and it sucked. But ultimately, literally after that 90-day window of no clients, my next month I booked 60 grand in 4 weeks, and all of a sudden I could now stand in front of you and teach you sales and how to go kick butt, because I literally had to go through and push my muscles, my sales ability, to the point of learning and pushing into the next step. And I didn't quiver up and quit. I just said, you know what, Matt, if you want to be successful, you got to continue going on and on and on. Then I started up a marketing company, and that marketing company did pretty well. It did close to $500,000 throughout 3 years of college, my sophomore and my senior year. The problem is that 3 times my business grew and then completely collapsed on me because I was young and didn't understand how to build culture and how to retain people and so on and so forth. And I had to completely rebuild it 3 different times, and I was able to continuously do that. And that was hard. I went from great income to no income, and it was crazy. Then a lot of people out there don't know this about me, but I dropped out of college when I was a junior. Now, in my mom and dad's eyes, I was a failure at that moment because in their eyes, they wanted to be able to tell all their friends that my son went to X college and got his degree and all that, but that wasn't the path at the moment. Now, I did go get my degree, by the way, so I am a college graduate for everyone out there, but ultimately it came down to, at that moment, it wasn't something that my parents wanted to hear, and to them, I was a failure. But again, what it came down to is I was too busy running a business and I was too busy growing companies and making money that I just didn't have time to go to school, and I had to make a decision between which one was more valuable at that moment. As a college dropout, my business completely fell apart, and I invested every single dollar into my company, and at that moment I was left broke and in debt from college, and then in general I put a lot of money on credit cards and so on, and I was left to have to go into the corporate world, which I got lucky that I had all this experience up to this point, and I was able to, like I mentioned in a couple previous videos, get 7 job offers without a college degree, by the way, and they were all ranging in the $60,000 to $100,000 range in income. And again, that was because of my sales ability and my ability to run businesses and so on, that I was able to get such a high level income. While I was doing those jobs, I do want to let you guys know I got fired from 2 out of the 4 jobs that I actually worked at. And the reason I did is I realized I wasn't a great employee and I needed to be my own boss. And so I got the opportunity to return and start up a new business. And when I started that business for 2 years, I actually made less money than I was making while I was in college for 2 years. And this was in my early 20s. And honestly, I was living very, very tightly where I barely could pay my bills. And a lot of people didn't know about that, but I just kind of fought through it and ultimately made it work. And then after that, my business finally grew. I moved out here and now my business is a multi-million-dollar company. I just bought another branch of our business and that was great. But even in that sense, over the course of the last years, I've had so many ups and downs. After my first year of having a successful year, every key employee in my company actually walked out on me, every one of them. And it was because I didn't know how to build a team. And then when they walked out on me, guys, it was just like when you're weightlifting and your muscles are growing, all of a sudden it like tore me apart and it made me realize that I had to study and learn how to build the right culture and the right team so my business can grow and scale. And ultimately, throughout all these failures and successes, what I found and have learned is it's okay to fail. And honestly, the key to failure is not that you're failing, it's understanding that when you fail, right, it doesn't mean you're gonna be successful. What it gives you the opportunity to do is take that failure and learn from it and then become better, bigger, stronger, faster, whatever you wanna call it in business, become better at sales. Go and get the different job. Maybe you should try something new. At the end of the day, you have to go out there and get out of your comfort zone, take consistent action, which will lead to results. I promise you that if you take action and go after your goals. You're young, right? I don't care if you're 50 years old right now, you got another 30 years on your life. I don't care if you're 30. If you're young and you're in your 20s and below, man, oh man, take risks, guys. Fail. Trust me, you can get jobs. I can go get a job any day I want to right now if I have to. But at the end of the day, guys, you have to go out there and you gotta figure out what you want and go after it. Just go after it. And I promise you that at the end of the day, you will thank yourself for doing those different things like I'm thanking myself currently right now, because over the last decade, I've averaged over a 6-figure income and I've been able to take care of my family with no stress, and it's awesome. So subscribe below, guys, comment. This video was meant for you guys to truly see kind of successes and failures. Watch my other videos. Those are gonna be from years of training and coaching. I highly recommend it, and thank you for your time. I'll talk to you later.